I can't believe I'm about to say this, but this is gonna be my last vlog in Baltimore. To put it short and sweet, I finally got a job recently after however many months I've been searching for a job. I would say that I started to look for jobs aggressively towards the end of last year, so right before I went back to Taiwan. During my job searching process, I was mainly looking for jobs that are here in Baltimore and also back in LA, because those are the only two places for now where I feel like I can find my way around the city. Recently, I finally got lucky and got a job as a customer service agent for American Airlines at LAX. So I'm going to be heading back to LA to possibly one of the most busiest airports and working there. You know, when you first go to the airport and you have a big luggage that you want to check in, I would be the person at the desk for American Airlines to help customers check that in, and then also whatever other responsibilities that comes with the job. I would say that I'm excited for it, but then again, if you've seen just how long it took me to finally get this job and how many jobs I've had to apply to get here, honestly, I'm just glad that I don't have to look for jobs anymore. It was kind of funny how I got the job initially because actually about 2 weeks ago, I went back to LA to do an in-person interview for this bank. And then when I was there, I also thought about, applying to some airport jobs because that kind of sounds interesting to me. And so after I came back to Baltimore, actually a few videos ago when I was at that garden, I got an email from American Airlines saying they want to do a in-person interview in LA again. So within a span of a week, I went back to LA twice to do interviews for two different companies. For the American Airlines interview, it was a group interview. I've never done something like that where I'm also in the same room with other candidates and we're just answering interview questions and things like that. What ended up happening is, after they finished asking us questions, they went outside and then they came back, immediately gave my whole group an offer. So my group had like 5 people and we all got a job at American Airlines. Once you get the offer, they immediately take you to the onboarding room where you start filling out the paperwork. Like you don't even have time to think about whether you want the job or not. They're just assuming that you want the job. So right then and there, I signed the paperwork, did whatever I need. And so I think in the next few weeks or so, I will do some more steps to the onboarding process. And then probably around March to April, I will start the job officially. So for today, I'm not gonna do nothing crazy. I'm just gonna go to one of the last few places that I wanna go to in the city. I was thinking about this the other day. Like I've been to most of the places that I want to go in Baltimore already. And, today is just one of another park that I would like to go to. And then later tonight, my brother and I, we're going to both of our favorite hot pot restaurants in the city. It's a little bit outside of Baltimore, but it's still within, the surrounding areas. So that's something to look forward to. But for now, I'm just gonna enjoy my day and I'm gonna head off to the trail in a little bit. So let's get the day started.
Break the sun in the hills in the morning, and the ocean by the shore in the evening.
If this is the last that I'll see of Baltimore, I'm happy with that. You got a nice little walking trail. There's a water creek that runs across the entire trail. Super relaxing. I would have preferred it had I gotten my job during the springtime so that when I leave Baltimore, the last image that I'll have of this place is like a place that's super green. If you've never been to Baltimore before, or pretty much anywhere in the Maryland area, it gets like super green here during the springtime, during the summer as well. And then obviously you have the fall colors as well. It's just that during the winter, it can feel kind of long where you're just going through months without any greenery. Oh well, you win some, you lose some, right? I'm just glad that this is like the last trail slash park that I'll be visiting in Baltimore. I'm glad that I'm in Baltimore right now instead of any other Northeast cities, because I think recently on the news it said that New York City had their biggest blizzard in who knows how many years. We only recently had one heavy snow day, and I already thought that was crazy. So I can't imagine what it's like for people that are living in Boston or in upper state New York. It's gotten a lot more comfortable recently weather-wise, where I feel comfortable wearing just my t-shirt. Had it been like 2 weeks ago, I would have still been in my puffer jacket and my hand would have probably still been numb the moment I step outside the door. But yeah, I'll definitely miss this place for sure. I'm just thinking about all the parks that I've been to here. Even this one right now, super nice, right? The way they make this place feel very relaxing. I can hear the sound of the water on the water creek. In the next few weeks, you can start expecting the leaves to start growing on the trees. Too bad I can't witness any of it because I'm actually leaving next Tuesday. So when I leave, it'll probably still look somewhat like this. If you live somewhere in the DMV, just enjoy the springtime for me. I won't be here to experience it, but it'll definitely be super nice. I can only imagine what this place will look like if it was like all lush green everywhere.
And we thought it'd be sweeter. And you thought soon you'll get a love like that again. Like that again.
Okay, so since I'm moving out of Baltimore, right, I thought I would jot down a list of pros and cons of living here, just in case any of you wants to move here in the future for work, for school, whatever the case may be. I basically want to share some of the things about this city just for you guys to consider before moving here. Starting with the pros. So the first pro that I wrote down is that Baltimore is very convenient. Mind you, I just came from Washington, D.C. not too long ago, where pretty much anywhere you drive in the city, it's jammed all the time during the daytime. To go from that to Baltimore, I feel like everything has just opened up. Even on the weekends, sometimes I would go to restaurants to pick up food, right? And I would easily be able to find a place to park. And it feels like sometimes even there's not too many people outside. It could be that it was during the winter when everybody has gone home. Maybe that's why there's not too many people outside. But still, for the most part, you can find your way around here easily, and it doesn't take 30 minutes to drive 3 miles like in DC. Another thing that I wrote down is that there are a lot of beautiful gardens and cool neighborhoods here. Especially in North Baltimore, that's where all the cool neighborhoods are. If you go near the Loyola Maryland University area, or if you go to the Sherwood Gardens area, there's a lot of beautiful houses, beautiful parks for you to walk around. Every single park slash neighborhood has its own uniqueness to it. It's not like they're all the same. Every park that I went to, they have some history that's associated with that location. Very cool. I think that's what makes Baltimore stand out from other cities. Another pro is that you can visit a lot of places for free. I remember one of the first few places that I went here is the Baltimore Museum of Art. That entire museum, I was so shocked that you don't even need a ticket to get in. You can just walk around for free. And then more recently, when I went to Rawlings Conservatory, that botanical garden, it's also free as well. They do recommend you to make a donation when you walk in there, but even if you don't make a donation, you can still walk around for free. Now let's talk about the cons. First, I wrote down crazy drivers. I've never been in a city like this where the drivers here are so reckless. Obviously, it's not everybody, but sometimes you'll just meet drivers that are just like, they don't care about the drivers around them. For example, there's this one time where there's certain streets where it says no turn right on red, right? So, like a good driver that I try to be, if I'm the first person in the line to turn right, I will obviously stop when it turns red. For when it turns green again, I can turn right. But some of the drivers in the city, they're so impatient where they can't wait for the red light to turn green, right? So this driver behind me, he just cut right in front of me and just turned right, even when it says loud and clear that you can't turn right on red. Some drivers will drive fast all the time, even if we're in an area where the speed limit is 25. I would just see a car like zoom across. To go along with the crazy drivers, the amount of potholes in the city is unbelievable. You go to any neighborhood in the city, there's gonna be a very deep pothole somewhere. If you drive around the city enough, you will know certain places where there's a very deep pothole and you have to be very careful, otherwise, your car might get damaged. Recently, I was just on the Reddit community page for Baltimore, and I saw this post where somebody had their tires punctured right outside of the Raven Stadium. They make the stadium look very cool, but outside the road conditions are not very good. You definitely have to be very careful trying to avoid the crazy drivers and then also the potholes. And then another con is that there's not too many good restaurants around here. For example, the fast food restaurants, right? There's pretty much only McDonald's and Popeyes. My favorite fast food restaurant is Dave's Hot Chicken. And whenever I want to eat Dave's Hot Chicken, I would have to drive 30 minutes out just to get Dave's Hot Chicken. Even Crumble or Target, there's none near the city area. You would have to drive a little bit farther out, like Towson, to be able to find things like that. As for Asian food, I eat Asian food more times than not, and there's not too many selections here. I would have to go to Ellicott City, which is like northwest of Baltimore, and that's another 30 minutes out from the city. That's pretty much what I wrote down here. Obviously, there's more pros and cons for people that have lived here longer, but that's some of the things that I learned about this city. It's just a matter of taking the good with the bad. Obviously, every city has its own flaws, but then there's also cool things that makes living here enjoyable. Those are just some of the things to consider if you ever want to move here one day. I would say I definitely recommend it from my time living here. Anyways, right now it's around 5:01 p.m. I'm getting ready, and my brother and I are gonna go to our favorite hot pot restaurant called Hot Pot Hero.